So the first thing we're going to do is melt the Belgian chocolate. So please check out my easy chocolate tempering video before you start the project here. Melting the chocolate correctly is very important, and if you manage to do that correctly you will have good results with using these moulds. The next job that you see I'm doing in the video is I'm using a dry paintbrush and I am painting the chocolate into the mould. I'm sealing the surface so that I'm not standing the chance of getting any air bubbles coming to the surface. I'm going to get a nice clean finish of my mould before I add in my chocolate. The mould will dry very quickly if the chocolate is correctly tempered. Next thing I'm going to do is take a disposable piping bag. I'm going to pop it into a tall glass and carefully pour the chocolate into the piping bag. This chocolate, because it is tempered, you do need to work fairly quickly with it, so all the time it's setting. Take hold of the piping bag and then just cut the end off with a pair of scissors, and then you're ready to go to pour your chocolate directly into the mould. Keep your bag up at a 90-degree angle and just pour the chocolate straight in. Try not to overfill the cavities, otherwise you'll find that the chocolate will leak out everywhere when you come to tap it on the table to bring the air bubbles up to the surface. So once you've done that, you just need to tap it on the table and then take it off to the fridge for 20 minutes to set. Carefully pour some boiling water into a plastic container and put a metal container over the top of it to allow that to heat up. Whilst that's heating up, you can take the chocolate mould out of the fridge and then carefully remove the pieces of chocolate that have now set. If the chocolate's correctly tempered, they will come away very easily at this point. Next thing we're going to do is, with a sharp knife, is very carefully just trim off any little excess pieces of chocolate that might have come outside of the mould. Be careful with this bit. So we're now going to cut the lipstick and the mascara apart into two pieces so that we can make our 3D item. I'm using a knife here. If you'll find that you're struggling to cut the chocolate in half, if you gently heat the knife up, it will just cut straight through the chocolate. Now I've taken my metal container off the hot water that I had earlier. The metal container is now hot and I'm using it to melt the chocolate on the two pieces so that I'm able to join them together. And that's going to make my 3D mascara and lipstick. Okay, now we're going to start the fun part, and that's painting the makeup, so you can customise it according to whatever design that you're using. So here I have got a palette of dusting colours, so any edible dusting colours, and in the middle I have got some melted cocoa butter, and the whole thing is sat over a bowl of boiling water, which is keeping the cocoa butter melted. And using a paintbrush, I am carefully painting some little flowers at the bottom just to start off my design. I always start with the bigger items first. It's easier to build your design from there if you lay out those items. I'm going to paint some of these flowers overlapping because nature doesn't tend to have flowers standing on their own. They all tend to be sort of in amongst each other, just make the design more realistic looking. So just continue to paint your larger flower items on first before you begin adding in extra detail. I'm cleaning out my brush as I go when I'm changing colours. There's a small pot of water to the right hand side. That's hot water with a little bit of washing up liquid, and then I'm just gently cleaning my paintbrush in between on a piece of kitchen roll so it's all dry. Now what I'm doing is adding some more detail, so I'm using a darker pink now, so more of a burgundy tone, just putting in the centre of the flowers and then going around the outside edge of the petals so that I get a bit more definition with the flower design. So at this point I'm now adding in some leaves. I'm tucking those in behind the design, just using a couple of shades of green. If you water down your cocoa butter, you get a paler colour green, or obviously if you have it much thicker, you're going to get a much darker shade, all out of the same colour. So vary the strength of the cocoa butter and paint that you're using to get these different effects. So I'm now adding some little tiny sort of white dots amongst the flowers. What that does, it looks like gypsophilia or baby's breath. It just gives it a much lighter feel than just having the flowers on their own. And then again with a little bit of blue as well, just tucking those in behind the rest of the flower display. Now, the joy of this mould, it actually has the word compact already on there for you, so it's painting by numbers. All you have to do is take hold of your colour and paint it straight over the letters that are already there for you. Lovely, nice and easy. Next thing we're going to do is do the eyeshadow palette, and I've done a blue colour here. The luster colours are actually better for painting this than just the plain colours, so if you want to use luster colours for full coverage at this point, then that would be the choice. I'm going to go for blue and pink, just filling them in, ready for the makeup display. For the top of the scent bottle, I've actually used a brand called Rolcom, and I've mixed it with the cocoa butter. The silver and the gold are edible and they give really good coverage if you want to do anything like that. I've painted this one in gold, but the final display there's one shown in silver, so you'll get a comparison. So you can match your design. So I'm going to paint the scent bottle in the same pattern that I've painted the compact, and then it all looks like it's all matching and all part of a set. And here we have the end result. I've used the makeup on my handbag cake. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.